Hey, welcome back. In today's video, I will show you how to write a clean code using solid principle and utilizing the concept of abstraction using interfaces. Suppose we are creating a message sending application and we have a send message method on message controller and we initiate the message sending service like this. So in config, we have some default service that we are going to use like Twilio, Ring Central, any other service. So the message that we want to send, so if configuration is Twilio, then we send SMS. We call this method, for Ring Central this, and for text buddy like this. And we have send a SMS class and we do like this. So doing this way is not that good, because if we in future if we want to add another service, we have to modify this class and this controller class. So what solid principle says is that one class is responsible for just one responsibility, so responsible for just one activity or one function. So according to the solid, we need to split these up on single class. So all these will go on their own class. All right, so let me quickly make those classes. Okay, so first step is done. We have created this SMS folder, and here we have separate class for all of these, and all those contain send method. And next step is let's make them implement a particular interface so that they must have this send method. Otherwise, if we in future we want to add another method, someone might change the name to any other method, and to extend that we tell them that you should implement this interface to add a new service for SMS. So new file, let's say SMS contract. Okay, our interface is ready. Now we implement this contract on all of our service. Sorry, not here. Okay, so we have make a bit better. Now next step is we just clean this up, like new Twilio, Ring Central. So now we don't need this send SMS because this is not being used. We have contract and all individual classes, and send method accepts message to send, and all of these will implement that. Okay, so it is a bit better now than before, because we are using all individual classes to send SMS, and then in this class we can just write all the code related to Twilio. We call the API, we initialize API requests, we make the configuration and all the stuff related to Twilio in this class, for this service in this class, and for this service this class. So we have separated all the logic related to different service. It is a bit better, so we can make it more better, because whenever we need to change suppose we want to add new service called text bird, we have to come to this controller and write if else, and then we have to change this, and it gets a bit muddy. So there is a better way. So what we can do is we can pass the interface instead of this concrete class. So you might have heard the term called code to interfaces, not implementation. Program to interfaces use abstraction instead of concretion. So what this statement means is that you need to, as far as possible, use the abstract or interfaces instead of these concrete classes. All right, so how do we do that? So we can inject interface here. So Laravel has a service container. This allows us to inject this interface here, like here we can SMS contract SMS sender, let's say SMS sender. And then what we do is, instead of all this, we can just comment this out. What we do is just do SMS sender send message. That's it. So this controller shouldn't know about all these services, right? So and our controller shouldn't be responsible for handling the logic related to services, which service to use. We'll do this thing in different place. This is a lot cleaner. That's it. In controller we just need to do like this. Okay, so we have done that, but how do we control this thing? How do we decide which service to use? So that we'll do in app service provider. So we bind the interface, we bind this contract. So we will tell the Laravel service container that whenever you want to use this contract, use this concrete class or this concrete class. So how do we do that? Using service provider. Let's go to app service provider in register. Let's say SMS contract. So we bind this SMS contract class to, let's say, Twilio class. So let's see this in action. Yeah, in send method we are just echoing out something, so we can see this message according to service. Okay, so let's go to web, and so let's hit that endpoint and let's see. Yeah, we see the Twilio. Now let's try to bind different service, Ring Central, and now Ring Central. So we just change in one place and it will reflect everywhere. So suppose we want to send SMS service, we use SMS service in this controller. Suppose we want this SMS sending service in any other controller or any other place, we just use the interface instead of concrete class, and then service container will handle all of the logic which concrete class to inject when you want to use this interface. All right, so this is a cool concept of object-oriented programming. So in solid principle, you don't change you won't change the existing class. You won't go to existing class to make changes. If you have to extend the functionality, you will create a new class and then you can easily extend. So going to the old class and changing something there to extend functionality is really bad practice that might break the existing code. So this is quite good practice. Suppose in future we want to add a new SMS sending service, we won't touch any of these existing class. We just create a new class. Let's create a new class as a text bar, Twilio Ring Central text bar, let's say, and we create just new class and we write all the functionality related to text bar here. Since we are implementing this interface, we are all good to go, and yeah, we can just write functionality and it won't break existing code. All code is just good. We don't have to touch any of the controller. We don't have to touch anywhere. Just in single place we create a new class and all functionality will work. And we can swap which service to use in here. We define just that here. We don't even have to touch this app service provider as well. So what we can do is like we did here. Okay, so here we don't even have to write all this. So SMS service, we do like this, and we get this from config service .sms.default. So default service for SMS we will get from here, and instead of this concrete thing we will use SMS sending service. So this is service, and then we have to get the service class. So concatenate. Okay, here we'll just save the name of the service and we get the service class from here. We don't need all if else like this. And now let's go to config services default. So we use default like Twilio, and then we'll define which class we will use for Twilio. Okay, I'll not write all of these, so you have to define all of the service that you support. And if you want to add new service, just create new class and add in config whatever default service you want to allow. Just use the key here and you'll get that in app service provider. So app service provider, we get the settings. So let me die and dump SMS sending service and SMS sending class, service class. So let's see which variable we get. Let's die and dump. Yeah, we get Twilio and Twilio class, and now automatically Twilio will be executed. So Twilio will be activated, and let's say we want to use different service. We don't have to touch any of these class. Just create a new class. Suppose we have created this text bird, and we want to add this text bird service. Now we don't, as now our application is just big and we want some better service, and we create that service class and implement that contract. Just write the send method and all the implementation logic over here, all the logic related to this particular service, and just go to the config file. So let's say we use text body, sorry, we use text bird, and for text bird like this, and now default is text bird. So you can write it here, and so it should match. Sorry about that. Okay, so if you have settings in .env, it will take precedence, otherwise it will take this. You get the idea. So let's go. Now it will just use the text bird. There we go. So quite easy. So I encourage you to use this kind of pattern. Alright, so I hope you learned something out of this video. It is really helpful in your software development career if you really grasp this concept, and keep practicing this. Try to work with different examples. Just look over the code. There are a lot of examples. Even in Laravel, we are using different storage driver, different mail driver. These are all examples of this kind of pattern. So yeah, I'll see you on another video. Bye.